Nez.
Delegate Rick Nez on the call.
Rick Nez is present. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr.
Thomas Walker present.
Thomas Walker Jr. is present. Honorable Key Allen Begay.
Chairman Key Allen's online. Thank you.
Key Allen Begay is present. Honorable Herman M. Daniels.
Present. Good morning.
Honorable Herman M. Daniels is present. Honorable Mark A. Freeland.
Good morning. Freeland's present.
Mark A. Freeland is present. Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr. Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr. Chair, you have 5 members available, which makes a quorum. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Tahi. Honorable Keelan Begay Jr., could you do the invocation for us?
Chairman, good morning. Nana, Ado RDC member, Ado Shikain Nasenigi, that is not Sangi Aden, Yat Ehnidini do Listo, Ado Kodotso, there's an Hanigishi, that Sudabe Hadis. Got ya Ashon Loni Kodon Nadi Jahanane Garden Jetsanane case deep in Ibi Kodo Hihana or Shandin Ben Hikanat and Slat. Haholyago Naniska it is Hadast Ego Kodo Honzat Hol Jishikin Chego by Hinson. Now Zambakai ne die Bakabi Hatet Ebaka in lie. Art for con bake eitla Adacon. Inan lini ni hit huinla ni hit zini adon hit eastern lean to ecuadon to go by here ni zin or God everything that you do that you provide for us on a daily basis God kodo to go by here and do hen nandish need or this a large ado kodo resource development committee hat nigo bin ye ecuador skinika latte locally, Kodo, hidden and leaning hard is Nico baby Nashidit, I quack. Not on it league what I be near Delson. A call Kodo base bounce on leaning Kodo, not on it. The quick shibe that I take go be here Delson on the Navajo Nation, the judicial branch, the executive branch, and the legislative branch. Other the Inished Arts Hogo, local chapter, has added arts for Ecuador. The then Lini Gasly, the public had Nigo did I Banil Nestopanahuit Ada Bayel Tick. Aquadisha Ecuador Resource Development Committee, Bispans on the bits Anasilo, Dandini Bingi. Quaki Binya, Bana Il Kedo, Binyahana or Kodo agenda had Nigo, Kate Dana Ago, Kodo Banit into Lesi Kodo. Toshint on Jehuilia or Lesdoshe, and Jehoshla or Leshala. En get the nego Ecuador or Shahida Ishibe in the Hasdi. Nahabenash spaceness or Shain leader obey. She came in nothing hit the nego did Ago Kodobe in hit a young baby Nashako con. Hashina la and the Hasdi Kodon hit na bears and the Hasdi a con. Nasamba Kagi con. For that a Toya Hadot say. Ado Beshichi Ado. Hawan that that ho nada hastinko. Adonat loshita. Adokon ultra oda. Hachinda ultra dabeden tin. Adol zail ego. Aden zail inidan hidnaya da halya ya hikahiki. Adosani is twin that di. Adeplan has added yat eho contra yarn baal to yat ini. Aron public safety couldn't act. They're always in harm's way 24/7, but protect them God. Kohit ego shin kunk at art of just shin end art to Ecuador and Spahos and Baban C. Casey by Yale T. Other council member Alajit Dahitezine. Aron his staff, the division directors art to Ecuador Batsodils and Do Bana Inshka. Ado kodet ankisi zingi nana ni her family. Stahinani bada aschene. Big ein lini the not asked ho. But asked ho Ecuador benelni to lesto nkaba ta khulya to nkab ke ta chitlikat aron his last so that currently some of our Navajo people are abroad in state around the world protect them from harm God nkaba khulya sto kodid ego kodot a onche khuslado le khala she do binish anda padokhat ende ni be zili ne yo dat baby na she kodot a twa God ya asho kon loni dit a kodonche so desendo le do dit ego kodo nice kando le a twa kon ado ashisizing de kodo ishi bech hitinessa bech sitna keshin de nshana chhuin lado le nkhana chhuin lado le every day ni yilzi every day ni yisi o deskaldo o this other over so deskazin de ko agibe ni yilzi go hot up in hit yanstke but hot end every single day na hot that na hon again halodit ni hit ne pa yitas de hot end to the lini be chenelni be in see case be ka neja na sam bakaj holjish arna hasam bakagin hit nabit to the zen holno asant ego bit to the zen holoni be ka khunitsen be yeltke be ka neja kodit ego community across the Navajo Nation dit ashin da il deto de nika ada konkhai bi jitna di khidesk az ta ho da shin chizda dan ta ho da shin be hones doida bit an dati but hot end bit hit zil hada shin dit on here he masan hit cheda chideta den da chizda nada yija one mazol ye da bito an to da dit a kontinent lini keta hat on da hashish this shin it there's a clip of a switch dit at on the day a cook up in el den do bonus den de badot end base of banta ilna a ko ishin kwadat a that age be ka nature so be ha when it's in God but hot end and hit the nego I don't be hot do hot do listen help ke ho slado o be not do be not a chedashina hui nago baby itas tolle ya hot eko shin baby itas tolle at ego go shin kopen has ani be hot kong at sashit atoyil setande aton jishla bit be chini tatande hala kong at na hashtani kai ishin be chinda hoti na bagan has ad konal togi COVID-19 ol yego da the nen leaning his kodo satoda it's other be and then the house but the hot in the kodo how hit and now it's that the link go kodo na hot za do le ada konka bita hites na ita it's is lineage but zila kodo yi hado ka yi hada hito ka dot ego nas that inan lini the purpose of life, the purpose that we were put on earth, God. Giat ehobe nasnane catholic be inanit edo lestit ego ecodo. Bana is a scandal lesto paint it's anana case do les. A cot art for ecodo. Just a zig hot shedina and lini. Bana is a scandal les. With that, God. Yet asaki kodon hasam kaje dens ako kododit kodon hanna det no the bayadat bego kong at aton habe ke how this link go okodo we just put our faith in you God akodit ego it's so the zen lini yet asaki ne chinigi bit min the cargo ne ad hanet shi yin hanna os kango habe ke has lit o lit to yat e hokodo kisna hote shi jo lit ai so there's any give hasit or leto kodon trigo. I humbly request God, petitioning and asking for forgiveness, for blessing, for healing, for comfort And whatever our family, our relatives, my Navajo Nation are going through, assure them that there is hope, there is faith in you, God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Yeah, Sitsilla, Honorable Brigade, Nahatsadan, Ziniki, Koroshin, and Nacha. CK, so Korosha, Clean all this, so we'll fit all this if you hadn't saga. Are they announcements? Mr. Tahi, do you have any announcements for us, sir?
Chair, members of RDC, you have a special NABI meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Then on Friday, November 19th, we have a leadership meeting with DNR, DCD, DED, NDOT, and EPA for them to provide their plan of office spaces in all 5 agencies. That starts tomorrow at Friday at 9 a.m. That's the only announcements I have, Chair. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Tahi. Honorable members of RDC, do you have any announcements?
Mr. Chair, this is Delegate Herman Daniels.
Honorable Daniels, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable colleagues, I don't give staff, thank you for the wonderful prayer. I see so I know what our people are going through with COVID. So I see Hashin for Ahani Zinto Deet El Deet Abjan Dahi Nala Jotai Baba on Sankadaho. So even Nashiko Kodo, Shesh Hasin Kodo, the Yego, a Dawash Yakoto, Anida, Nekoto, Hila Kanakistan, Neniki, Anida, Neko. Sanitize your hands, in the social distancing, Neniki 6 feet, in the face covering. It she don't his dead, that is balon dark, that showed a dada Hashian Kodo, I don't need it, that's what is an. The base negi Dakodo, actually Nikodo, and he need LDB Dakodo. So it actually don't hear the need or let a Kokodo dam, Mr. Chair. I did the Kodo dam, just one announcement, Kodo dam. Today, Yakuzina dam, 4 chapters, a Bishop Kodo dam, Shanto chapter, Tanalia chapter, Kaibito chapter, and Lachi chapter, the 4 chapters. A Nagada, the railroad tracks, Nagadam, NGS, Chios in Deco, A Nagadam, Takon, Legend, Chicago, Nagadam from Shanto, Silo Joque, I live like Deco, A and Catadenaho. So Kodo Nagay, Oyodo, Itza, Kodo, Nagay Todo, Nagadam, former council delegate, Kodo Nagay, Honorable Stanley Yavi, Ayeko, Yahat, Zikodo, Dola Itza. ولا خدي يل نغي بيش بتهيني لا خيتا خليت أبان يبايتي خليت أيضا حتى so no كده يحد so this all started from a breakfast table كده نغي كده نشجد the leadership maybe should hunting spiel usually the update meeting not near other should hunting need be a great long كده يحسن تهويس got this it started from there كده نغي so today كده نغي 4 chapters, leadership, Leniki Kodo chapter officials, grazing officials, and grazing permit holders. La Colin Day, La Aji Kodo, Asahalegiban Aldeco, Adonana Kodo, division director, JT Willie, he's also on the line on that side, Kodo. So it ain't on his husband or Letico. So Ashi Kodo, Kisahi Neko, Letico Kodo, Adonana Kodo, maybe sometime, maybe Mr. JT Willie, the Executive Director for Economic Development, reports that so it is what his husband leadership, the local leadership here, in regards to the railroad tracks. yeah, Mr. Chair, thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Daniels. What we can do is add it to the agenda for December, where Mr. Willie can provide us an update on all that's happening over there since the closure of NGS railroad tracks, and perhaps we can also tour the mine sometimes. So, Honorable Daniels, just keep that in mind. And also, Mr. Tahi, if you would write that down and add it to the agenda for approval, and we'll schedule it for December. Thank you. Are there any other announcements?
Chairman.
Honorable Vice Chair Walker, go ahead.
Yeah, Chair, the committee members, the staff, the announcement yati teacher Achibanalte Telecom Police District conducting a listening session for its service area. So there's several chapters in our region. A disallow the non-shigi a ben hayako allowing he could in today listening session. The way 20 arrows the daughter na quiz cannot national go 8 and Shimpat and Ado up Cuba City Police District Edo Tato Nikidez John hit no the Southwest Community County Niki. So we have Delcon substation, police district substation Quagga. Other than 20 arrows don't have a has other Cuba City Quad Oya the Bahazan Chota Tahiti Nequada. Aid Hajon Bahatotsi, Hajon, Neta Isa, Gidat Isaki, Bajahati Ak, a Hador, Mitoshin, a Navajo, Idol, Tati, no, Isha, listening session, Bandalte. Social media posted the Yilan, Edo, Bajo, Dish, Shunanta, Ilada, I don't that quite so this in it, have care, Sicilia. Honorable Brigade, yeah, but by instance, thank you.
Yeah, Honorable Vice Chair Walker, and also we needed to schedule the RDC drought tour and complete the tour out on the Rama, Tohachile, and Alamo. Perhaps some areas that we need to go back to as well. And also, we would like to recommend a strategic planning session, at least 2 days, 1 day at most, all day. Perhaps we can do that out at Twin Arrows and just be there Monday all day and just discuss our priorities that we had discussed when we first started our term. We have a year left almost, so we can go back and check off some of the things that we got done and how much we still have left to do. So, and we'll have that perhaps in December's on the agenda for approval. Are there any other announcements, Shananta? Then, yeah, we'll move
Chairman,
down
Freeland.
to Honorable Freeland. Go ahead.
Chairman, good morning. Colleagues and staff and everyone on this call, good morning. Honorable Kialamige, thank you for that prayer, brother. Really needed that, and I think all of us could use those words that you conveyed this morning, and thank you for that. It was a very good prayer. So, Chairman and colleagues and everyone on the call, a couple of announcements. In the last couple of days, I've been with my chapters, and I want to thank them for their work and all of our chapters out there who are working in preparation for ARPA, and just to talk to them about specifically what is really needed out here. And the biggest thing is water, and the biggest request is water. And I start with Standing Rock, and Standing Rock has 68 homes right now that are ready for water. Our chapters are really positioning themselves very well. They're getting all the pre-procurement activities. They're basically positioning themselves to be construction ready. So I just want to say thank you to all of our chapters out there who are working to bring water, bring electricity, and bring bathrooms, sanitary for sanitary use, and especially when we can help our elders that way. It's a game changer, and it's going to enhance livelihoods forever. And really, we really need to remember that part. So area trimming, especially the chapters that are in communities that are very remote and rural, those are the ones we really need to do our best to help. So just want to say thank you to our chapters. We had a Veterans Day event out at White Rock on Sunday. We want to thank all of our veterans again. I want to thank the White Rock chapter, Lake Valley chapter, veterans organizations, as well as the Shanna family for having that event. It was outdoors, and it was an NAC, Native American Church of the Nilan of New Mexico event. It went very well, and we want to thank all those who participated. Today is a drive-through Thanksgiving lunch that Crown Point chapter is going to be putting on starting at noon. So if you are in the vicinity of Crown Point, come by. You might see me with my apron on, listening to the RDC call and serving as well. So I'll be helping out this afternoon with that, Chairman Otto. As well as Friday, we'll be having another drive-through at Nahajishki's chapter and for Standing Rock and Nahajishki's Senior Centers for their Thanksgiving event as well. And then, Eddie, Chairman, I just want to say thank you to this committee and the staff as well. And, with Thanksgiving being next week, it'd be a really good time for us to reflect and count our blessings. And I told my chapters these last few days, we have to be thankful each and every day that we open our eyes and we're able to breathe the new air. And when the sun comes up again, it's a new opportunity. New opportunities await for us. And, I think of the families the 1,400 plus families that are not going to have a loved one for Thanksgiving, and how that's forever changed their lives, impact their lives. And I asked my chapters, and I'm going to ask everyone to think of all the families this Thanksgiving. Keep them in your prayers and keep them in your thoughts. And it's hard. It's hard when you lose a loved one. And and we're very thankful for those who have recovered, and we're thankful for all those who have battled the illness. But we still continue to lose loved ones. And I just got a call from one of my chapters this morning up north, and my chapter president told me they lost another elder to COVID. And it's really hard to get those calls. And it's really hard to continue to hear from this specific chapter. And, I really wanted, like my brother said, to please get vaccinated. I got my booster, and I hope everyone's gotten their booster. But get vaccinated, wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance. Whenever I go out, and I have to go out, yes. I've been to Walmart in Gallup, and I've been to other Walmarts. Anytime we see our Navajo people out there, one thing that I really notice is that they wear their masks out there. Others may not. Anglo or Nakaigi, they may not wear their masks. But our Navajo people are out there wearing their masks when they go out in public. And our numbers continue to just go up and up and up. And we're not in a good position right now. We got to do something. Our hospitals are almost at capacity. And, we may go back to a color red status. And that means shutting down again because our numbers continue to be at a high level. So please, colleagues, staff, everyone on this call, do our best to really do our part, or display our individual responsibilities and take care of ourselves and take care of others. This COVID is it ain't no joke. Chairman, I just wanted to convey that this morning and encourage all of us and everyone, our Navajo people out there, to please adhere to CDC guidelines. Please get vaccinated. Please do everything that's right. That will, that could save our life, could save a life. So, Chairman, I just wanted to say that and thank you, and God bless each and every one of you, and of course, God bless our great Navajo Nation. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Freeland, for talking with your words of wisdom and concern, not only leadership, but as well as our dear Navajo people out there. We do need to continue to take care of ourselves and encourage others to do as well. And RDC members, I just want to say thank you for all the work that you do for the great Navajo Nation, not only in your communities, but the whole Navajo Nation. I always appreciate all of you, your participation and helping out each other. So, and thank you very much. Yeah. Are there any other announcements? None. Let's go down to number 2 on the agenda, recognizing guests and visiting officials. We'll have introductions for everyone. We'll start with RDC. Honorable Vice Chair Walker.
Chairman and committee members and staff, the offices that are on this call with us this morning, the listening audience, Thomas Walker Jr., I don't mention the Shingens be between us chain touch of the is that is national. Then I represent Coal Mine, Cameron, Loop, Tulani Lake, and City Tour chapters out here in Western Agency. Your voice is echo join anigit after should I by him called yet not edo by shield she wins so the dog so cousin the balance case at your bar wins and a wouldn't Kansas case at that then that out place Johnson Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Walker. Honorable Daniels.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. Again, should they have Herman Daniels Jr. I don't know any bit on me. I don't kill the chini that's I got blood that's null. I don't toy head Lenny. I create a net that it should say what that man's snake on the way or jet ho. Shan't hold out a big kinder. I don't know if on a banashness. As about the best of an and snake ho. So that we get down to say the Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Daniels. Honorable Kealan Begay Jr.
Chairman, again, good morning, and Kehanando Likodo. Shidej Kodo, Hanaran hit an enslon, Kiani Eda Shajabit, Ani Dashichi, ado the chini eda shanale a koko low mountain touchibu gap talani kan with nozzling and mini farms with I kudo chapter but hadasha had only chairman.
Thank you. Honorable Freeland.
Chairman, good morning, colleagues and staff. Good morning from Crown Point, New Mexico. Shea Mark Freeland is here. So I'm going to get Tony, Snowdog, Kia, Ani, Asia, Sandra Kennedy, Adat Sana, but I represent 8 chapters out here in Eastern Navajo Agency, Crown Point, though, Nahajuski, so the Senti, White Rock, Lake Valley, Herpano, and Nayeze. It's a beautiful day out here, and we look forward to today's meeting and today's discussion and moving our great Navajo Nation forward. So thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Freeland. Honorable Stewart, are you on the call? Okay, you have Rick Nez in here. I want to know or they touch in Bushes chain, San Habitin, that should shade okay on it. I should not what I and then lower Fruitland, though, a Hanash. Good chapters, Panash, Nashia, ha. Set out on San Juan in Naza, though it's great East Tosaka, dot East Desh, yet it's been on the top. RDC staff out, or just Mr. Tahi.
Good morning, Chair, members of RDC. My name is Rodney Tahi. I'm the Legislative Advisor to Resource and Development Committee. I'm Kiani and Senja Kine. I'm originally from Steamboat, Arizona. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Whitty? Ms. Whitty? Press *6. Ms. Khan?
Oh, Yat good morning, Yat Danishik Yat Resources and Development Committee members, Finigi, Ado, Yat Navajo Nation Council delegates who are on the phone. I see my little sister, Miss Crowdy's name on the line, the people. Ado, Yat Anatso. Always wonderful that we can do that. Thank you for that beautiful prayer. She Mariana Khan, da shijane. Towards this ado, Tejan be toha or yet and nasha. Donna and the shinigi a tohi gleaning the slim. But ahni bashish chain, bash che dasha che, tsenji kina dasha nala. Today I'm speaking to you from Winter Rock. Thank you very much. I will go on mute now.
Thank you, Ms. Khan. Ms. Whitty?
Chair, can you hear me now?
Oh, go ahead.
Chair, can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Whitty, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, Chair and RDC members. Ado Asheha Yas Dono Hatabins and Delegate Begay. Ado Topa High Short Business in the Bushes Chain, Kia Ane the Shadows and a Janeda Chanela. Could OANH at the house to see though. Ado Inchia Gay Teresa Woody. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Back to you.
Thank you. Do we have any of our colleagues on the call from the 24th Navajo Nation Council? None. We have from Speaker's Office, Ms. Siako.
Good morning.
Yati Chairman, this is Delegate Amber Camus-Bacardi. I'm on the call. Thank you.
Maya Yate Hippen. Ms. Amber Camus-Bacardi, could you introduce yourself? Not so quickly.
Okay, Yate Kia'ani Nishle do Bilagana Bushes Chin, Des Chini Desha Che do Bilagana Deshanole, Polhatoi Natsha. I represent Sheep Springs, Two Gray Hills, Todlina, Sanasti, Red Valley, Cove, Gadiai, and Biklabato. On the Navajo Nation Council, I sit on the Budget and Finance Committee representing Northern Agency and chair of the Sexual Assault Prevention Subcommittee. But as all delegates, we represent all our beautiful people within the Four Sacred Mountains, going to school and working in the urban areas, and of course, our military family serving abroad. So thank you very much, committee members, and I appreciate the agenda and being on the call.
Thank you very much, Honorable Crotty. We certainly appreciate the work that you do on the missing Native women, children abuse, and all that it entails. We appreciate what you do here. Thank you very much, Honorable Crotty. We have from BIA Regional Director, Mr. Greg Mahoja.
Thank you, Chairman. Committee members, honorable delegates, and other officials, thank you very much. It's been a few weeks since we've been on a call with you, so we're happy to be back and looking forward to working and coordinating with the RDC folks. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahoja, for taking the time to get on the RDC meeting. Ms. Cheryl Curley. Ms. Curley.
Yeah, good morning, Chairman Nez, RDC Committee, Delegate Crotty, everyone on this call. Cheryl Curley, BIA, Navajo Region. Yeah.
Thank you. Do we have Mr. Filford on the call with us this morning from OPVP?
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, you may proceed.
Good morning, Chair, members of the Resource Development Committee, staff, and everybody that's on the line. This is Davis Filford, Office of the President, Vice President, Executive Staff Assistant. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Filford. Anybody from the Department of Justice? None. Hakushila. We also have on the call with us this morning Ms. Belinda Ariacho.
Thank you, Honorable Nez and the RDC Committee Yate, Shikedo Shadene, Belinda Ariacho Yanashia, Hanadni Nishle, Lashteja Beshachin, the Betlajin and Dashiche, Lashteja Dashanella. Good morning to you all. Look forward to the conversation.
Thank you. We also have with us Mr. Dwayne Crank from Office of Navajo Government Development Office.
Good morning.
Frank.
Thank you so much for the recognition. Thank you. Good morning to all the delegates, and I look forward to listening in today. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else on the call? None. Hakushila, we'll move right along to number 3 on the agenda, reviewing and approving the agenda. Mr. Tai, could you read the agenda, please?
Chair, members of RDC, Resource and Development Committee of the 24 Navajo Nation Council, this is the agenda. Regular meeting for Wednesday, November 17th, 2021 at 10 a.m. Proposed agenda. Presiding, Honorable Ricky Nez, Chairperson. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr., Vice Chairperson. Location via telecommunication. 1, call the meeting to order, roll call, invocation, and announcements. Number 2, recognizing guests and visiting officials. Number 3, reviewing and approving the agenda. Number 4, reviewing and approving the journals, November 10th, 2021. 5, receiving reports. A report from Four Corners Economic Development on 4 CED projects that will favorable benefit the Navajo Nation, presenter Arvin Tree Hill, CEO. 6, old business, none. 7, new business, legislation number 0224-21, sponsor Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. 7B, legislation 0228-21, sponsor Honorable Edmund Yazzie. 7C, legislation 0236-21, sponsor Honorable Charles Newton. 7D, legislation 0237-21, sponsor Honorable Amber Crotty. 7E, approving an in-person work session with the Navajo Nation Land Department, General Land Development Department, and Office of the Controller on church land use permit for the recommended date of Tuesday, December 21st, 2021 at 9 a.m. in Wind Rock, Arizona. 7F, approving to cancel Resource and Development Committee's regular meeting on Wednesday, November 24th, 2021 at 10 a.m. and approving to schedule a special meeting on Monday, November 22nd, 2021 at 10 a.m. 8, close of meeting announcement and adjournment. Chair, that's the agenda. Run into the record. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Tahi. Honorable members of RDC, let's have a motion and a second.
Keelan?
Thank you. Second by
Freeland?
Honorable Freeland, thank you. Nanda. I believe there's a request on item C under new business to delete that. The sponsor of the legislation had withdrawn that legislation on the 15th, and we all received that email. So I would like to just ask the motioning party to concur to delete that. Honorable Gay.
Chairman, with the request, I stand affirmed with the request.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Freeland.
I'll be good, Chairman.
Honorable members of RDC, are there any comments or questions on the agenda? Amendments?
Chairman.
Honorable Vice Chair Walker, you have the floor.
Chairman, though, committee members, though, staff, legislation 0206-21, the chapter emergency funding requests from UUFB Ada for to do more work on that legislation because of the number of questions that were raised by council for with OOC, OMB, and DCD. Table Jeremy. It at the agenda, so that we can discuss it at that time. Perhaps a leadership meeting or during even the next RDC meeting. 30 days, 30 days table. So the end of October, 30 days. We're already a couple of weeks into November. So Shenandoah. So that would be an amendment adding an item to the agenda to discuss 0206-21. So then we can decide how to address that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Walker. My recommendation, Honorable Vice Chair Walker, is if you'll look under F, new business, approving to cancel Resources and Development Committee regular meeting on Wednesday, the 24th at 10 a.m. and rescheduling that meeting to a special meeting on the 22nd, which is on a Monday at 10 o'clock. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, what we can do is just add it to the agenda for that day and have Division of Community Development, Office of the Controller, and OMB provide a report. Under reports, I believe there was a request when I tabled that legislation that when I made that motion, I requested to have updated information on the chapters budgets, what their balances are. We needed to take care of that, and I hope that DCD, OOC, and OMB will have everything prepared, and we can have Mr. Tahi contact them to provide a report on Monday, the 22nd, rather than scheduling a separate meeting. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, what do you think?
Chairman, all committee members, I will certainly concur with that. Okay.
Once we receive a report from DCD, OOC, and OMB, we can recommend that your legislation 0206-21 be placed back on the agenda for Nabagiati and the full council. Honorable Vice Chair Walker. Thank you. Mr. Tahi, if you would contact them and add that to the agenda for Monday, the 22nd. And if you would also, we'll just take care of it today. We'll have it at 9 o'clock rather than 10 o'clock. So we'll take care of that today. Shenandoah, RDC, do you have any other comments or questions? None. We'll go ahead and call for the votes. We have one deletion. Item C under new business. That legislation was withdrawn. So we'll go ahead and vote on this. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, how do you vote?
Chairman, I vote green.
Thank you. Honorable Begay?
Chairman Kale votes green.
Thank you. Honorable Daniels?
Green.
Honorable Freeland? Honorable Freeland?
Green. Green, Chairman.
Thank you. Honorable Stewart?
Green.
Thank you, Honorable Stewart. We have a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Chair not voting, motion carries. We have an agenda before us. On to number 4, reviewing and approving journals from November 10 that was sent to us by Ms. Whitty. Let's have a motion and a second.
Motion, Stewart. Second, Freeland.
Thank you, Honorable Stewart. Motion, second by Honorable Freeland. Are there any comments or questions on the journal? None. We'll go ahead and put it to a vote. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, how do you vote?
Chair, I vote green.
Thank you. Honorable Begay?
Chairman Kale votes green.
Thank you. Honorable Daniels?
Green.
Thank you. Honorable Freeland?
Green.
Thank you. Honorable Stewart?
Green.
Thank you. We have a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Chair not voting. Motion carries. We just approved the journals from November 10. Thank you. Number 5, receiving reports. Is there a motion to suspend the floor rules to go to new business?
Chairman, I motion.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Walker. Second by.
Second, Freeland. Freeland.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Freeland. Honorable members of RDC, are there any comments or questions on suspending the floor rules and going to new business? I hear none. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Thank you. Honorable Begay?
Chairman Callan votes green.
Thank you. Honorable Daniels?
Green.
Thank you. Honorable Freeland?
Green.
Thank you. Honorable Stewart?
Green.
Thank you. We have a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Not voting. Motion carries. We'll go to new business at this time. A, legislation 0224-21, sponsor Honorable Vice Chair Walker. Mr. Tahi, could you read this into the record?
The chair members of RDC, you have legislative summary sheet, tracking number 0224-21, date October 29th, 2021, title of the resolution, proposed standing committee resolution and action relating to Resource and Development Committee, confirming the reappointment of Belinda Aracho to serve on the Navajo Tribal Utility Authority Management Board of Directors for a term of 3 years. Purpose. The purpose of the resolution is to confirm the reappointment of Belinda Aracho to serve on the Navajo Tribal Utility Authority Management Board of Directors for a term of 3 years, from October 2021 until the annual board meets in October 2024. Chair members of Resource Development Committee, RDC has final authority on this legislation. Sponsors Honorable Thomas Walker Jr., tracking number 0224-21, an action relating to resource and development, confirming the reappointment of Belinda Aracho to serve on the Navajo Tribal Utility Authority Management Board of Directors for a term of 3 years. Section 1, authority. A, the Resource and Development Committee was established as a standing committee of the Navajo Nation Council 2 NNC Section 500A. B, pursuant to 2 NNC Section 500C, the Resource and Development Committee shall exercise oversight authority over public utilities. C, pursuant to 2 NNC Section 501B9, Resource and Development Committee has authority to grant final confirmation of appointment to enterprise. Section 2, finding, pursuant to 21 NNC Section 2, the Navajo Nation established the Navajo Tribal Utility Authority, NTUA, as an enterprise. B, the NTUA is authorized to acquire, construct, operate, and maintain utility systems throughout the Navajo Nation. C, 21 NNC Section 1B. C, the general purpose of NTUA is to operate, maintain, and promote existing utility system, furnishing electric, gas, water, sewer utility service, generation, and telecommunication, and information services for the benefit of residents of the Navajo Nation, including the establishment, ownership, operation, and maintenance of electric generating, telecommunication, and information services on or off the Navajo Reservation, and to provide utility generating, telecommunication, and information services on a nonprofit basis at a reasonable cost to residents of the Navajo Nation consistent with the economical operations of the enterprise. C21 NNC Section 5A 1 through 6. D, the NTUA Management Board shall have a delegate authority and responsibility for the management and operation of the enterprise. C, 21 NNC Section 7.1. E, the management board shall consist of 7 persons, all of whom shall be appointed by the Government Service Committee of the Navajo Nation Council whose authority to confirm the appointment of the enterprise boards has been delegated to the Resource and Development Committee. See 21 NNC Section 9A. See also 2 NNC Section 501B9. F. Members of the board shall be called directors and shall have the following qualification. 1. 4 of directors that shall be members of the Navajo Nation who speak English with fluency and who have significant education experience to qualify them for learning utility business practice and procedures and make sound judgment. 2. 4 of the directors that shall be person not less than 10 years experience in business management of substantial character, and at least 2 of which persons shall have such experience in the management and operations of the utility business. See 21 NNC Section 9B 1 through 2. G. Vacancies. Vacancies in the management board may be filled for an unexpired term of the vacant office. See 21 NNC 9 Section 9C2. H. Directors shall be eligible for reappointment. C. 21 NNC Section 9C 1 through 2. I. RDC D-101-18. Appointed Belinda Aracho to the NTA Management Board for a term of 3 years that expire at the annual board meeting in October 2021. The appointment resolution RDC D-101-18 is attached as Exhibit 1. J. On September 24, 2021, Belinda Aracho was recommended to be reappointed by the NTA Management Board Resolution NTA-34-21. Belinda Aracho's resume is attached as RDC D-101-18 Exhibit B, which is attached in Exhibit 1. K. Belinda Aracho meets the qualification listed under 21 NNC Section 9B 1 through 2. Ms. Aracho's resume is attached as RDC D-101-18 Exhibit B, which is attached in Exhibit 1. L. The reappointment of Belinda Aracho will be for a period of 3 years starting from October 2021 and will expire with the annual board meeting in October 2024. See 21 NNC Section 9C2. M. The resolution of the management boards of NTUA Authority NTUA 34-21 recommending the reappointment of Belinda Aracho to the management board of the Navajo Tribal Utility Authority is attached as Exhibit 2. Section 3, confirming appointment. The Resource and Development Committee finds that Belinda Aracho meets the required qualification to be reappointed as a director for the NTA Management Board as set forth in 21 NNC Section 9B 1 through 2, and hereby reappoints Belinda Aracho for the term of 3 years within the term expiring at the annual board meeting in October 2024. Attached is Exhibit 1, the Resource of the Development Committee, the 24 Navajo Nation Council Resolution Number RDCD-101-18. Attached, you have Exhibit 2, which is the resolution of the Management Board of the Navajo Tribal Utility Authority, NTUA-34-21, recommending the reappointment of Belinda Aracho to the Management Board of the Navajo Nation Tribal Utility Authority. Then you have the first report of the Navajo Nation Legislative Branch Internet Public Review Summary, legislation number 0224-21, Honorable Thomas Walker Jr., posted on November 1st, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. The 5-day comment period ended November 6, 2021. There was no comment supporting this legislation. There was no comment opposing this legislation, and there was no comments or recommendation on this legislation. Chair, that is legislation 0224-21 read into the record. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tahi. Honorable members of RDC, let's have a motion and a second.
Motion, Stuart.
Honorable Freeland and Honorable Stewart, second. Thank you. Honorable members of RDC, this RDC has final authority on this legislation. So let me go to Honorable Vice Chair Walker, you have 20 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, and staff. So, also, Gido, Chekahasi, Kekwe, Shao, legislation 0224-21, a confirmation of a reappointment of a member to the NTUA Management Board of Directors. A8 ECHO is read into the record by Mr. Tahi. Previously, we RDC did approve confirmations for several board members. KD 8 ECHO. Ms. Aracho, Belinda Aracho is on the call with us. Also, David Silva from NTUA is also on the call. He will be our agent for this particular legislation. But I want to thank the motioning party for offering motion to approve the reading of the legislation. So, Mr. Tahi. Elako Dishin Nishiben Yodni Nanta Koho Bashin Yat Belinda Oracho Badahidi Ato Nishan Adehato Zinknana Ato Shinda Adanzachida Pohoto Yilchodo Ash on the confirmation here Koho Idia what are they Hinchkid or the DB then how legislation chairman. So then of course if there are questions and if need be David Silva, the associate attorney for NTUA, can also be allowed to answer or take questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Walker. Ms. Ariacho, could you introduce yourself, please, to the committee?
Thank you so much, Honorable Nez. Good morning, Resources Committee members, Honorable Chair Walker, Vice Chair Walker, Honorable Begay, Honorable Daniels, Honorable Freeland, Honorable Stewart. Thank you for allowing me to be here with you this morning. As I indicated, Sheya, Lindia Racha Yenashia Khanat Nishle, Nashtejish Beshchin, the Bethle Jena Dashache, Nashteja Dashanella. I believe you all have a copy of my resume, but just for just a quick summary, I originally was raised in the Winter Rock area, and I left to college. I hold degrees in health sciences. I also have a master's degree in public health with an emphasis in occupational and environmental health, and then a master's in technology with a focus in hazardous materials and waste management. And I worked for Arizona Public Service Company for 27 years in the capacity as an environmental scientist and a manager relating to environmental health and safety, DOT compliance of APS's power plant fleet, as well as hazardous waste facilities that I inspected throughout the United States on behalf of the utility. And currently right now I'm retired, but I do work, still continue to do work here in the urban area, in the Phoenix area, as well as on the reservation with regards to cultural education and trauma work. As a board member, one of the things that is really important to me as a board member is really making sure that we have an effective and efficient operation and internal controls, which also includes managing the risk of the business. With my background, I also have a special focus in the EHS and DOT area. One of the key things as well for me is also making sure that we're managing our rates and cost containment to ensure that all Diné people receive these services, as well as succession planning for NTUA senior management personnel. Thank you, Akota.
Thank you, Ms. Ariacho. And I, honorable members of RDC, do you have any questions for Ms. Ariacho? Atenya Hakushila, thank you. We'll go ahead and put it to a vote.
Chairman.
Honorable Freeland.
Chairman, just a comment. Thank you, Chairman. Shantai. Chiche. Honorable Walker, thank you for the legislation, as well as Mr. Racho. Thank you for the presentation as well and introduction. Chairman, as a RDC shareholder rep to the enterprise NTUA, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Racho and thank you to the board. And I do attend the meetings, and the business that is conducted by the enterprise it's always official business, of course, but more importantly, the way the board conducts the business is very thorough, very transparent, very professional. And to have these expertise, these different perspectives of expertise, it's really unique, and we're very fortunate to have individuals like Mr. Racho and the other board members serve on the enterprise board. And I just want to say thank you to Mr. Racho and to the board members as well. Adoche, thank you for the legislation. Area Chairman, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Freeland, for your comment, your statement. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? We'll go ahead and put it to a vote. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, how do you vote?
Chairman, I vote green.
Thank you. Honorable Begay.
Chairman Keelan votes green. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Daniels.
Green.
Thank you. Honorable Freeland.
I vote green, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Stewart.
Green.
We have a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Chair not voting. Motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Ariacho, for your reappointment to the NTUA Board of Directors. And thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Walker.
Thank you.
Okay, next, legislation 0228-21. Honorable Chairman Edmund Yazzie, are you on the call? On twice.
Chairman?
Yes.
Delegate Freeland?
Honorable Freeland, are you the co-sponsor?
I was Chairman, but I didn't get an opportunity to sign the legislation. So I guess we can just defer it to Monday's meeting.
Okay. Yeah, you have to have it signed, so
okay.
We'll wait till Monday. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairman.
Next, we're on C, legislation 0237-21. We have Shamayaz Akin Deshinkon, Honorable Crowdy's on the call with us this morning. So, Mr. Tahi, could you read this into the record? RDC, this legislation also is RDC's final authority. Thank you. Mr. Tahi?
Chair member of RDC, you have legislative summary sheet tracking number 0237-21. Date November 8th, 2021. Title of the resolution, proposed standing committee resolution, and action relating to resource and development, approving a mission site permit for 1.5 acre, more or less, for Mitten Rock Tree of Life Church in the vicinity of Red Valley Chapter, Navajo Nation. Purpose. The purpose of this legislation is to approve a mission site permit for Mitten Rock Tree of Life Church on 1.5 acres located in the Red Valley Chapter, Navajo Nation. RDC does have final authority of this legislation. The sponsor is Amber Kennensbach Karate, tracking number 0237-21. An action relating to resource and development, approving a mission site permit for 1.5 acre more or less for Mitten Rock Tree of Life Church in the vicinity of Red Valley Chapter, Navajo Nation. Section 1, Authority. A. Pursuant to 16 NNC Section 1151C, the Resource and Development Committee of the Navajo Nation Council has authority to give approval for permits or mission sites on behalf of Navajo Nation. B. Pursuant to 2 NNC Section 501B2, the Resource and Development Committee of the Navajo Nation Council has authority to give a final approval of all land withdrawals, non-mineral leases, permits, licenses, right-of-way, surface easements, and bond requirement on the Navajo lands and unrestricted fee land. This authority shall include subleases, modifications, assignments, leaseholding, encumbrments, transfers, renewals, and terminations. Section 2, Finding. A. The Mitten Tree of Life Church has applied for a mission site within the Red Rock Chapter Valley. B. The terms and condition of the site permit is attached as Exhibit A. C. The purpose mission site is located on 1.5 acre more or less within the vicinity of Red Valley Chapter, Navajo Nation, New Mexico. The survey of the Mitten Rock Tree of Life tract is attached as Exhibit B. D. The grazing official in the field clearance checklist dated May 11, 2021 identified one grazing permit holder. The field clearance checklist and the consent to use the Navajo tribal land for mission site with the grazing permit holder approval are attached as Exhibit C. E. The Red Valley Chapter Resolution RVC-48-15 dated September 13, 2025, quote, supporting Mitten Rock Tree of Life requests of lease application for their existing church site for religious service to the Navajo people, unquote, and a signed petition are attached herein as Exhibit D. F. The Biological Resource Compliance Form is attached as Exhibit E. The Historic Preservation Department Cultural Resource Compliance Form is attached as Exhibit F. The HPD report dated 9/21/2015 consent report number DCRM 2015-50 is attached as Exhibit G. The environmental assessment prepared by Denali Environmental Services and a memorandum date August 24th, 2015 by Denali Environmental Assessments are attached as Exhibit H. G. The application certificate of incorporation, the articles of incorporation, and sliding fee scales form for mission site permits are attached as Exhibit I. 8. The executive official review document number 015695 with reviews by the Department of Justice, Department of Water Resource, Fish and Wildlife, Mineral Department, Historic Preservation Department, Division of Natural Resources Administration, and the Navajo Land Department, and reviewed by the Navajo Environmental Protection Agency by memorandum date September 2nd, 2021, indicating approval and or significant are attached as Exhibit I. Section 3, Approval. A. The Resource and Development Committee of the Navajo Nation Council hereby approves the mission site permit for the Mitten Rock Tree of Life, subject to, while not limited to, the attached terms and conditions contained to as Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and incorporated wherein by this reference. B. The Resource and Development Committee of the Navajo Nation Council hereby authorize President of the Navajo Nation to execute all documents to effect the intent and purpose of this resolution. Attaches Exhibit I, which is the terms and conditions for the mission site permit Mitten Rock Tree of Life. Attaches Exhibit B, the survey of the land that is going to be used. Attaches Exhibit C, the field clearance checklist. Attaches Exhibit D, resolution of the Red Valley Chapter RVC-48-15. Attaches Exhibit E, which is the Biological Resource Compliance Form, the Navajo Nation Department of Fish and Wildlife. Attaches Exhibit F, the Cultural Resource Compliance Form number HPD-15-70. Attaches Exhibit G, the Archaeological Inventory Report. Attaches is Exhibit H, the Mitten Tree of Life Church Site Environmental Assessment by Mitten Rock, New Mexico. Attaches Exhibit I, the application for the mission site, religious site, Navajo Nation land. attaches Exhibit J, which is the Executive Official Review Document Number 015695, which was issued on 0106-21. Then you have the first Navajo Nation Legislative Branch Internet Public Review Summary for legislation tracking number 0237-21, sponsored by Honorable Amber Kesnabas-Crotty, was posted on November 10th, 2021 at 3:57 p.m. The 5-day comment period ended on November 15th, 2021. Yet no comments supporting this legislation, yet no comments opposing this legislation, yet no comments or recommendations on this legislation. Chair, that is tracking numbers 0237-21 read into the record. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Tahi. Honorable members of RDC, let's have a motion and a second.
Chairman, I motion.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Walker. Second by
Freeland.
Honorable Freeland. Thank you. Honorable Crotty, you have 20 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Nez. I appreciate that. Committee members, so this legislation is actually a culmination of 6 years in trying to assist the mission site permit for the Mitten Rock Tree of Life Church. Committee members, as been read into the record, you can see all of the exhibits and reviews have been completed. We also have a supporting resolution from the chapter, and also in terms of Section 2 findings, you'll find the terms and conditions of the mission site permit. I appreciate the committee in your earlier discussions with Land Department on mission site permit. So we do want to be in compliance and with Navajo Nation law and regulatory provisions. This does state that the church will have an annual fee that will need to be paid to the Land Department. And so in terms of the field clearance and all of the documents, the supporting documentation is enclosed in the legislation. And I think at this point, Chair and committee members, with all of the information that's provided in this comprehensive request, I turn it to the committee and yield if there's any questions or concerns that the committee may have or any recommendations. Thank you, Chair. And in this time, I want to assure that this has been a long-standing source of support from the community. They've opened their doors in time of need and have been a staple in part of that Mitten Rock, which is in our areas right behind or west of the Shiprock. And so this is a community that has always come together and provided this place as a place of worship. And there are no disputes, and the review process has been approved. So thank you, Chair and committee members.
Thank you, Honorable Crotty. Are there any comments or questions? I do know a lot of churches help out with their communities, especially during the pandemic, passing out food as well as certain items of importance, necessities too. So, and some churches even provide Thanksgiving meals during this time. So thank you. If there's no other comments or questions, Nanda, we'll put it to a vote. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, how do you vote?
Chairman, I vote green.
Thank you. Honorable Begay?
Chairman Kiel votes green. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Daniels?
Green. Green.
Thank you. Honorable Freeland?
Green.
Thank you. Honorable Stewart?
Green.
Thank you. We have a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed, chair not voting. Motion carries. Honorable Crotty?
Thank you, Shias Chairman Nez, for your leadership, and committee members. We appreciate everything you're doing for the Navajo Nation. I'll stay on the call as some of the reports are very important. So thank you, Chair.
Oh, thank you. We're on D, approving an in-person work session with Navajo Land Department, General Land Development Department, and Office of the Controller on the church land use permit for the recommended date of Tuesday, December 1st at 9:00 a.m. in Window Rock. We made a recommendation that this needs to be in person from Monday's meeting. So we'll have this on a Tuesday on December 1st when there's that date is open. So it would be better for the Office of the Controller to also provide us an update on how many of those churches have not paid their fees as well. So motion and a second.
Alan.
Harold, motion.
Thank you. Honorable Vice Chair Walker will second. Are there any comments or questions on this rescheduling on December 21st at the council chambers is where we would like to have it. It's a bigger place. So any comments or questions? None. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Thank you. Honorable Kiel Mbege.
Chairman Kiel votes green.
Thank you. Honorable Daniels.
Green.
Thank you. Honorable Freeland.
Green.
Thank you. Honorable Stewart.
Green.
Thank you. We have a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed, chair not voting, motion carries. We're down to E, approving Council Resources and Development Committee, our regular meeting on Wednesday next week on the 21st. We would like to cancel that meeting and reschedule it to Monday, starting at 9 o'clock, I believe is a good time to get started. And that would leave committee members on Tuesday and Wednesday on to enjoy your families, since it's a Thanksgiving holiday, and attend other meetings. And I know there are other functions at your chapters that you would like to participate in as well. So I believe having that special meeting on a Monday would be proper. Let's have a motion and a second.
Freeland.
Honorable Freeland, thank you. Second by?
I'll
Daniel.
second, Chair.
Honorable Vice Chair Walker, thank you. Any comments or questions? None. Just remember, it'll be on Monday at 9 o'clock. And also on that agenda, Mr. Tahi, make sure you add a report from DCD OOC OMB on legislation 0206-21. This is the chapter's emergency funds allocation. We needed updated information on the budget for chapters, so we'll take care of that. Thank you. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, how do you vote?
Chairman, I vote green.
Thank you. Honorable Begay.
Chairman Kiel votes green. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Daniels. Honorable Daniels.
Green. Green.
Thank you. Honorable Freeland.
Chairman Freeland votes green. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Stewart. Honorable Stewart. We have a vote of 4 in favor, 0 opposed. Chair not voting,
Sinai,
motion
green.
carries. Koshila, Honorable Stewart votes green. The vote changes to 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Chair not voting, motion carries. And I will go back to reports. We have Mr. Arvin Trujillo, the CEO of the Four Corners Economic Development. and he would like to report on the Four Corners economic development projects that will benefit favorably to the Navajo Nation and local communities. I believe Mr. Trujillo has provided a report to us a while back as well. So, Nanda, we'll go ahead and give time to Mr. Trujillo. You have 20 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. I welcome the opportunity to provide you a report again concerning Four Corners economic development and projects that we're currently working on that I feel would be very beneficial to the nation, as well as the Four Corners region here. Again, I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Four Corners Economic Development, which is located here in Farmington, New Mexico, but my efforts involve the full county, San Juan County, as well as looking for opportunities that will enhance economic development that will benefit the full Four Corners region. Thank you very much for the opportunity to provide you with this presentation. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen on the presentation that I have for you. And we'll go through this as we proceed through our efforts here. Basically, looking at slide number 2, again, just as a reminder, Four Corners Economic Development is a nonprofit economic development organization here in San Juan County. And we're really looking at 4 main areas of focus. One is to bring needed infrastructure into the region here that will help us in the promotion of economic development, bringing businesses and industry into the region here, and to also help with the retention and the expansion of current businesses here in San Juan County. We're also looking at opportunities on ways that we can support our local businesses here in the region and market San Juan County, as well as the greater Four Corners region. We're looking at how to diversify the regional economy through business retention, expansion, as well as recruitment. Because again, what we're looking at is changes happening within the energy sector with the pending closures
Mr.
of San Juan Generating
Arvin?
Station. Yes, sir.
Arvin?
Yes.
Arvin, could you send your PowerPoint presentation to Mr. Tahi, please?
I did that, but I can send it again.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. So basically, what I am looking at right now is these challenges that we have in front of us. We're looking at transitioning the energy sector. We want to, because again, as I indicated, we are looking at changes happening within our sector, and we want to provide a new means of bringing economic development into the region, given that these major economic drivers are leaving the area. We're looking at how we can look at economic baseline work and how we could how we can help better or bring better education as well as information concerning economic development here into the region. And we're looking at how we can begin to look at business sector development. How do we look at bringing, focusing our efforts on different business sectors and looking at retention, expansion, and recruitment. And finally, how do we bring these economic-based jobs into the region here? How do we begin to focus on the necessary partnerships in order to build the coalitions needed to support economic development here in the area? So let me pause just a minute and make sure I get this presentation to Mr. Tahi. Give me a second here, and now we'll get that done. I got that sent out to Mr. Tahi now. Looking at slide number 4, what are we working on? Right now, we're really working on how we can build collaboration within the region here. The organization was the sponsor of a 4-state informational effort called the Four Corners Future Forum, which we were able to bring together the 4-state region as well as 3 of the tribes, including Navajo, back in 2017 and 18. As a result of that, it became very clear that we needed to really focus our efforts on what we need to do with the changes happening within the energy industry. With that in mind, we're able to build a strategic plan utilizing community members. And that's from our efforts in that strategic plan, we were able to identify 5 basic goals we wanted to take a look at. One, again, was looking at partnerships, looking at business retention and expansion. Another one was looking at organizational development. We've done much in that area, but now we're focusing on training, not only the community, but our board members, as well as our organizational members, as to what economic development really entails. What does that mean? We're looking at identifying target industries. We're working on bringing our educational institutions and our businesses together, looking at workforce capacity, workforce development, developing an assessment here in San Juan County as to what type of workforce do we actually have and what do we have going forward as we build our target industry areas. What areas do we need to train and develop? We're also becoming the center of marketing in this general area, as well as providing economic development analysis. The vehicle we chose to use is our website. That location is at www.fourcornersed.com. We have information about all the communities, even chapters in there. We have demographic information. We have sub-pages that have been developed by the municipalities. We also have sub-pages on all the different educational institutions. But again, this is our vehicle to begin to get information out about the Four Corners area, in particular San Juan County. We're getting a lot of hits from across the country. We're even getting hits from around the world. And again, we're looking at how do we market this area? How do we bring new businesses and how do we begin to establish our efforts as Four Corners Power Plant as well as San Juan Generating Station are looking to close in the near future. So some of the projects I want to talk about real quickly, I'm not going to go deeply into them, but I want to give you a feel for where we are and what we're doing right now is involving the Navajo Nation. We're working on a railroad project. We're working on a pump storage hydroelectric project. We're working on broadband enhancement within San Juan County and how do we extend that out to the chapters in the southern and western portions of the county. And then there's some additional projects that I'll just want to note as we move forward with this effort. And so looking at the railroad project, basically what we're wanting to do is that we want to bring rail here to the Four Corners area. And so what we did is we have a memorandum of understanding in place between the Navajo Nation and San Juan County. And basically that memorandum of understanding is just a vehicle to indicate that we want to work together to bring rail here to San Juan County. We're looking at the location of a transloading facility somewhere between along the old N36 road, somewhere in that region between Hogback and where N36 meets 491. That's a possible area, and then the rail route kind of basically in a way paralleling 491 possibly. But again, those plans will need to be developed. But this MOU was in place, has been in place since February 20th of 2020. And again, we're looking at taking this rail from San Juan County up to the current rails, BNSF rail system up on the I-40 area. We estimate that the total cost of this effort should be around $400 million. This is very broad-based estimation, and right now we've got a $2 million bill grant through the U.S. Department of Transportation that was awarded to San Juan County in partnership with the Navajo Nation FORSED to really look at planning this project. It's the start of getting all of this stuff done. We have an executive planning team with representatives from the county and the tribe currently in place. We've got a grant agreement that San Juan County has agreed to. And right now we're in the processes of bidding out an RFP to bring in an engineering firm that's very knowledgeable about rail systems. And we are looking at the closing date on that will be December 16th with the plan of having an engineering group in place and us working on this overall work plan by mid to the latter part of January of next year. And again, we're right now in our mindset and current timeline, we're seeing if we can get this initial plan completed within the next 18 months. There's a lot, again, that we're working with the Department of Transportation. The recent infrastructure bill has about $660 billion looking at freight and passenger rail, and this is destined to be a freight rail system. And so again, steps to consider as we continue this planning process is again, keeping a consistent membership within this planning group as we move through all the different issues involved in getting rail and identifying a route for this rail system. Really educating all the different communities, not only the chapters, but educating communities also that are off the reservation as to the opportunities and the possibilities. And again, the idea here, as we gain more information about this and as we share this information, we're looking at how we can develop support for this project because it allows us to really begin to look at areas such as manufacturing or looking at ways that we can develop value-added product coming off of natural gas. So there's a lot of new opportunities that would arise from that. And we're wanting to take advantage of that. You know, NAPI's looking at this. They are a part of this effort. Raytheon would benefit. We got Rocky Mountain Chocolates. We got Osprey out in Southwest Colorado who are interested in what we're doing. So again, we're gaining support from the 4-state region. And when we did the application for the bill grant, we were able to garner good support from the 4-state region, and we want to continue that effort. So there's still much work to be done, but we've got $2 million in seed money to begin that effort. With the pump storage hydroelectric project, we're looking at a project in the Baklabatot area. Again, this project is really looking at how we can basically develop a project that will store electrical power utilizing geological features that are very favorable here in the western portion of San Juan County. This is just a schematic of what we're envisioning. You would have an upper reservoir where you would have water flow down, and you would have a drop as you would flow down. And at the bottom of that drop, you would have a power plant, which is underground. Water would flow through that power plant, turning turbines, much like when you see dams, you see a power plant at the foot of a dam. When the water is released, that water flowing out will turn turbines and electricity is generated. This is that same principle of allowing water to flow down into this area where turbines are located. You have water that's running at a very high pressure and speed that will turn those turbines, produce electricity, which then is sent out. And that water then flows into a lower reservoir. You can then support renewable projects because, again, as you begin to establish these projects, at the peak of when the electricity is generated, you would see, you would then take that excess power and use that power to pump water back up into the upper reservoir and fill that back up. And say you do that during the day, and in the evening when the sun goes down, you would then release the head gates here. Water would again flow down, and you would see power generated. Now, this particular project that we're looking at would be generating about 1,500 megawatts of power over a 70-hour period, which really enhances its ability to generate power over the long haul. Again, we're looking at Tisnaspas and the Abato as the areas with the upper reservoir in Tisnaspas region, the lower reservoir down in the Abato chapter area. We've already had initial meetings with both chapters, and right now Tisnaspas does have a supporting resolution looking at helping us reach or begin discussions with the Navajo Nation to get a cooperative agreement to allow the company to go on there to begin to reassess all the features that are there and make sure that we can definitely develop a plan. We have general schematics in place, but we need to verify that. Water would be pumped from San Juan River. You would have an excess of water or pumping capacity after the lakes are filled. That could be utilized to distribute water in the region. As I said, you're generating electricity. You can then downsize or downgrade that electricity generated to allow for home use or business development in the region. So again, the overall project would be estimated about 3.7 billion, which about a little over half, about 1.85, could be locally spent. And so again, that really adds to economic development here in the region with construction and operating jobs and also support services. The schools would benefit by being centers of excellence where you could train people in the operation. Again, this would support renewable build out, or also support a source of energy for the regional development. You could see tax benefits, and then, as I indicated, supplemental infrastructure could be utilized to help with community development in the full region. Again, we're wanting to get an agreement established with the nation that will help us begin the preliminary work of reassessing and verifying everything we have in place, looking at right-of-ways, environmental footprints, compliance, etc. And then from there, establishing a workable plan to bring before folks for evaluation. The third area we're working on is broadband development here in San Juan County. We're working with Four Corners, with Farmington Electric Utility Service. They have a full plan that will look not only at middle mile development, but all the way out to last mile development for their service territory here in San Juan County, which includes most of San Juan County. We want to be able to partner with the Navajo Nation in order to make sure our efforts are compatible with the nation so that we can gain and we can develop good, reliable accessibility to broadband to all our regional our rural areas here in San Juan County. Meaning we're looking at not only accessibility, but increasing internet speed, providing reliable service, building in needed redundancy within the region, as well as looking at cost effectiveness for consumers. And so we're working, we've got a coalition in place that includes San Juan County and all the municipalities. We would greatly welcome the Navajo Nation in joining our efforts because we know dollars are coming through, and having partnerships in this fashion, I think would be real beneficial in not only developing the coalition, but really seeing this come to fruition, where we can really look at fiber optic development, cell tower development, microwave, and even satellite, and do that in a strategic manner so that all our regions, including our tribal regions to the southern and western portions of the county, are obtaining reliable internet services for their benefit. And we all know the benefits of having that type of service. And so some other projects we're currently looking at and just contemplating at this point is looking at helping Raytheon with their expansion activities. How can we help them expand their manufacturing aspect? Because there are economic-based jobs that could be developed by Raytheon relocating different services here to the Diné facility. We're also looking at opportunities where we could work with the Navajo Nation, looking at the Navajo Dam escrow account as a seed money for different projects. NAPI has been looking at a water bottling project. Is that a possibility? There are a number of things that are happening there, but there's 3.4 million that again could be utilized as seed dollars, or we can look at ways that we could look at repaying once those
Mr. Trujillo. Mr. Trujillo.
Yes.
Time expired.
Okay.
Honorable members of RDC, would you allow Mr. Trujillo an extra 5 minutes? RDC?
I don't have a problem, Kealan.
Okay. You may proceed, Mr. Trujillo, 5 minutes.
Thank you. Just got a few more points here. The other is looking at how we can really begin to look at economic development, education, and training, not only for local communities, but we're looking at this being before the Resources Development Committee, also looking at its chapters. We're looking at bringing rail down the foothills here. How can chapters take advantage of that and really begin to look at economic opportunities within their chapter areas? We're looking at the pump storage hydroelectric project. How can those communities there begin to look at further development as far as economic development is concerned, and bringing industries into their region? So these, and finally, we're looking at, we have been enhancing our partnership with NAPI. We're looking at how we begin to support our agricultural development. We've been working, we have an alliance of all the farmers markets that includes the Shipwreck Market. We're here in San Juan County, it's called the Growers Market Alliance. And we're looking at an ag summit, bringing the producers together with the buyers. We're looking at not only the farmers markets, but we're looking at the schools, we're looking at grocery stores. We're looking at restaurants as ways to begin to enhance our farm table initiatives here in San Juan County. And we've got a food hub here in Farmington, and we're wanting to expand those efforts there too. So that gives you a real brief idea as to what we are working on. Each of those projects, I can go into great detail, which will take a while. The presentations that we've been given to chapters, as well as the state of New Mexico, has been about an hour and a half, looking at all the different aspects and providing information on the details of those projects. So again, Resource Committee, I want to thank you for your attention and look forward to any questions that you may have. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Arvin, for your presentation. We do have the PowerPoint with us, so we will review it. Honorable members of RDC, let's have a motion and a second.
Motion,
Chair,
Stewart.
motion.
Honorable Stewart, second by.
Chair, I'll second that.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Walker. Are there any comments or questions for Mr. Trujillo?
Chairman.
None.
Freeland.
Honorable Freeland.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Trujillo, thank you. Good to hear from you again. Thank you for your report and your update. I guess my question is Four Corners, is your group, your organization collaborating with Navajo Division of Economic Development? That's my first question. And I know, like for us out here in Eastern, we weren't necessarily counted with the census count. A lot of our numbers went to the state of New Mexico. How is the state of New Mexico going to look at the northeast corridor or northwest corridor, of the state, and because it's primarily Navajo land? But how is the state working to potentially put some investment into this area as well? I think of, and I always mention to Mr. J.T. Willie about the opportunity zones as well. How are you all utilizing those? Have you had an opportunity to utilize those opportunity zones? I guess is my other question. So, hey, Chairman, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Freeland. Mr. Trujillo.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, Councilman Freeland. Yes, we are in collaboration with the Economic Development Division. We are working with staff there as we look at the railroad project. That's the main one that we're working with Economic Development right now. I've been in discussions with folks with the local RBDOs as we begin to look at economic development, education and training in the region, and would like to include chapters in that effort. Looking at Eastern Agency and the census count and what we're wanting to achieve, one thing that is very apparent in our region right now, Councilman, is the fact that we lack in infrastructure. And so again, we're looking at rail as being a way for us to move bulk items and supplies in and out of the region, looking at value-added products coming out. The other thing is looking at internet and ways to enhance that, so we can begin to open up our opportunity zones and figure out how we can best utilize those areas for development. There's a lot of opportunities within the Navajo Nation looking at these areas, but again, we need to work collaboratively so that we can help one another attract businesses. And so that's where our website and our marketing efforts are beginning to see some benefits, because people are beginning to notice what is available here in the Four Corners area. And again, we've been pushing what is available there on the Navajo Nation. And so we are really wanting to continue our partnership, Mr. Freeland and members of the Resources Development Committee. I really do have the county and all the municipalities here strongly in favor on finding ways that we can effectively partner with the nation, because we understand very clearly that in order for us to move product in and out, we're going to have to go through the nation. Southwest Colorado also understands that very clearly. And so again, we're looking at ways that we can enhance our capabilities to bring needed infrastructure into the region so that we have a plan B to move forward with once the power plants and the mines close down. And right now, San Juan Generating Station is scheduled to close in 2022 unless Enchant Energy is proved successful with their carbon sequestration efforts. And the Four Corners Power Plant is looking at 2031. So we've got 10 years to try to get things in place and moving. And so we're very focused on seeing what we can do to enhance this portion of the country, as well as bring in the other three states in our efforts here. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Trujillo. Honorable members of RDC, any other comments or questions?
Chairman Kellen.
Honorable Begay, you have the floor.
Chairman, Nando Leskodo, Ado Kodon Hitnahaznaki, Mr. Trujillo. Do anything relating to Navajo is the focus is always. Sometimes you always wonder is that why isn't any of our own Navajo programs or division in this particular progress of such a vision for our Navajo people. A lot of time we get in a situation where we're being told is that we just need to be careful if any of the program or reports is seeking any type of support of any a resource or if not funding. Eba konosen hit no ben hit Latin. The expansion to the metropolitan northern to benefit. I guess that's the key thing. Who would greatly benefit from this progress? I mean, what I've learned last week or 2 weeks ago when we visit the pipeline through the water settlement is that the city of Gallup is really greatly benefiting to get that water, while our Navajo people will continue to struggle and get delayed of getting water to their homes, because what we're being told is that you guys need to seek additional millions and millions of dollars so that our Navajo people along that pipeline, water pipe, will be able to get water. It's always fine and dandy to get these type of report, but yet when it actually comes to reality, a lot of time it's the non-Navajo or non-Navajo communities greatly benefit. Especially the railroad. I mean, the Navajo Nation at some areas have a great advantage from Twin Arrow location along the southern part of the Navajo Nation all the way up to Pruitt, New Mexico. Kunzago Tipish, Kona Spansi, Patniniki, Aja, Asnanadle every single day. But the Navajo Nation is not much interested in this particular area because Kuja Aja is about 36 miles. Because no, it's not really much of a play for freight and transport. I believe that freight will probably benefit only the city of Farmington. The other area, the broadband, the Ninigi, being on the Navajo Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, how much of of this particular effort is being utilized in expansion of the broadband in this particular nonprofit organization. Auto resource to benefit our non-Navajo people. The Jinzon case to Satte. Just Asaki hot, Haki hot at Obayel condition is a shit. It's just a matter that we get information, we talk about it, and then nothing happens after. Anything off the reservation benefit. During that time, you base on that the next day, Gishibin go did at that the least to the which is okay. But the thing is that Halit the prime example is broadband, and you've seen it and you've heard it. This morning I've sent an email to my RDC member that especially public safety FirstNet program. I mean, all equipments, all the existing towers behind that dot, and so not so sick base had dot. I think he got all hot no, got almost a year. That the that the no yati ko ten. What I think that Asaki the hot at all. I think that what as a vision of your program or your nonprofit organization, what is it that you think that the Navajo Nation really needs to do in order to get these progress going? Because we can talk all we want, but if the current existing policy is still in existence, I believe that we'll continue to, just talk about and just do press release that we're getting this money. No, but yet, the Navajo Nation just sitting on the $2 billion opera funding, and it's been over almost a year now. Go halet out and hit down the shit on knee, deed out, but not out of deed up and the song out of has on it, deed out that loud, epi, but net son he don't need the shink stop. Then he cut or jig, or shink stop big that's in so the bound such case. A court or use it or deed on his chet wheat, go down his chet, go out of a because the prime another example is that I've met with all the counties of the 3 states that the Navajo Nation reservation lies in. Ajit counties on Lindiki, commissioners on Lindiki, and he in Hichahatzi, Koko Halit, all the Navajo Nation do Kwaki hut up, and hit nap be cut the chato hat nida, or hot, and hitch a kodo that need in hit no the Aden, hitch a yat store. A call 8 Kwaki hit 8 that national lab, Chahon, the Alayan, his Hadna, Satishinda, Zido, Naupan Hashasle. But that's not my point. I appreciate your report. I appreciate your vision, and I appreciate what the effort that you're trying to do. But all I'm saying is that how can this become a reality that it will greatly benefit our Navajo people? Watershed, but yet but drop it to did ton linigi chong into lecture no by yet here quack a coco that in the base of the bando and other coaches on here hit net watcher your into liston in as loshidado could recharging some of the aquifers a la chip in a wheat arch a conduct the whole just not the hot and then that's the arch a call that aid and sissy case such other region of the chapters that it as a book and then night the dice at the nanins and the quacky big hanana big because ado aje hot ajgogi or opits on other that need a lot other obey the bed at in such cases at a leba yashito at abaha sekuko. Call a baby Nashigo Kodo, Mr. Trujillo. Maybe one area that I specifically want to say is that of the vision that you have and the report that you had And being on the Navajo Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, what specific do you see other than what was being brought up at last week, the public hearing? Kodo dit ato no agent broadband ki ba haotzito ba yatke ko ba hot end atindet oti hot ko elahit up has ani linki sahotchi honal yago gust ato niti ki khoje tik apendat ahaki atoni. I believe that I know that you've been a division director for the Division of Natural Resource under the previous administrations. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Begay. Mr. Trujillo.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Councilman Begay, thank you for those comments, and I understand where you're coming from. Looking at the benefits first, one of the things I'm really pushing right now is to get Navajo at the table as we move forward with this effort. That's why I looked at the MOU with the rail. I want the Navajo Nation to be on that executive planning committee. And as we start moving down the process, having Navajo very much involved in everything that we're doing so they can see opportunities that arise for the Navajo communities and the Navajo Nation and can take advantage of that. Right now, we're looking at locating a transloading facility on the Navajo Nation. We're looking at having the rail run through the Navajo Nation. There are tremendous benefits looking not only at employment, but looking at taxes and tariffs and et cetera that the nation could possibly look at in terms of the development of those facilities. And as far as economic development is concerned, as we begin to look at these bigger projects, how can the nation begin to take advantage of that at the local community level? There is the possibility, and what I'm envisioning at this point is we would have a transloading location here in San Juan County, probably along between somewhere along N36, between the actual Hogback and 491, somewhere in that area, possibly, and then running along somewhat parallel to 491, going towards Gallup, and then along the way, halfway, having a stopover location there where the Navajo Nation can take advantage. You could look at industry happening there. You could look at having a loading area there. You can look at a number of possibilities for that. And then having the rail continue on to Gallup. And then you would have two opportunities going and coming for that area, which then you can begin to look at community development and economic development happening for the chapters along the foot range of the Carrizo and the Stray Mountain ranges there in Cheska. So, again, I think that comes down to education, but it also comes down to really being involved. And I've got people here who I know and I have a great deal of respect for, and there are many that have worked with the nation in different aspects, who are open to sitting down and helping. How do we help the nation achieve economic development? Because again, what we're looking at here is breaking that mold and saying, how can we all benefit? When we get a railroad here, Southwest Colorado is going to benefit because they don't have to truck all the way to Albuquerque now. They can look at here and that will bring their costs down. Yes, Farmington's going to benefit, but there's going to be jobs opening up that Navajo people can utilize. But can we also look at industries developing on the nation now? That's a true possibility. And so again, those are the things that we need to begin to look at to determine how do we do that. The other piece to that, Councilman, is really looking at how do we enhance housing opportunities, looking again at benefits for the nation. One thing that we missed out on in the past when we built the powerhouses or the generating stations is we didn't locate an area where Navajos could go and build their homes. We missed out on that opportunity. We don't have to miss out on it again. Case in point, here in Farmington, up on Harper Hill on the west side of town, you can witness a whole new development happening out there. A lot of new homes because a lot of the manufacturing firms here and the oil firms are picking back up. They're hiring people. We're seeing a lot of young Navajo families who are taking advantages of those opportunities. They're becoming they're employees with good paying jobs. So now they're developing mortgages and they're beginning to buy their homes there on the west side of the county. And most of those homes, a lot of those homes are young Navajo families. Think of being able to withdraw areas within our reservation that as we begin to look at industrial development and begin to take advantage of these projects that are happening, we can bring homes in here and it won't be NHA homes. This will be people who have the kind of money to get a mortgage. All they need is a lot and they can build their own homes. As you begin to do that, then you start looking at business development. What's the first thing that came up here at Harper Hill when those homes started coming up and people began to see that begin to develop? A dollar store suddenly popped up. And so again, you see that happening there. We can look at that opportunity on the nation. So what I'm trying to move forward with is seeing how everybody can benefit. I mean, I'm not looking at one side taking from the other, but saying, if we go at this in partnership, how can each of us all benefit from this aspect and develop communities along the way and look at opportunities to employ our people and bring true community and economic development. Because again, one thing that we're looking at here in the county, and I know the nation is also, is how do we bring our young people back? We do a tremendous job educating our youth, but we got nothing here to bring them back. I'll make an example of that. I worked hard. I put my 3 kids through college. I got one that lives in Baltimore, Maryland. I got one that lives in Denver, Colorado, and I got another one that lives in Portland, Oregon. I would prefer to have them here. But again, I don't blame them because that's where the jobs are. So how do we begin to change that paradigm and bring those opportunities here so that our young people have the opportunity to look at this area and say, I can develop a career and look forward on that. And so again, that goes back into broadband development. Yes, I am on the NNTRC. What I'm looking at right now is really utilizing the expertise that's available with Farmington Electric, looking at the county and their build out because they have the full service territory here. They've got the wires, they got the poles, they got everything that will not only build out middle mile, but also go to the last mile. So they can go all the way to the home. So if we can build that out within San Juan County proper, wherever that territory ends is where the Navajo Nation starts. How do we make sure we got good connection there so that the nation can take advantage of that? The chapters in Eastern Agency, Fort Defiance, as well as Northern Agency can take advantage of that. We can build redundancy. We can get the necessary fiber up to a region, and then the nation can take it from there to build out the necessary fiber aspects. And as we begin to grow in that aspect, that will help us in cost. So we're looking at these different advantages on how we can build this out, because as we begin to build out our internet infrastructure, not only does that help us with location neutral, but that makes us more favorable looking at being able to recruit industries into the region here. And with the pump storage project, we have the capabilities of generating 1,500 megawatts of power over a 70-hour period, plus the other renewables that we have. So now we can go out to other companies and recruit. That's what I'm looking at. I want to go to recruit those companies, and our selling point would be, we can locate you here and you can power your manufacturing or you can power your industry with renewable power. And so again, looking at those selling points on how we can market that. We've got the chapters on our website. We got the demographics on our website. We're looking at ways on how we can promote the full region here, looking at economic development. So I hope that kind of answers your question, gives you an idea as to what my vision is and how I want to include the Navajo Nation, because I'm leaning on my experience when I was a division director for the Division of Natural Resources in areas I think that we can definitely benefit as a nation and as individual chapters and communities.
Thank you, Mr. Trujillo. Honorable members of RDC, are there any other comments or questions? I hear none. Thank you. We'll go ahead and accept the report. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, how do you vote?
Chairman, I will agree.
Thank you. Honorable Begay?
Chairman Keel votes green. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Daniels? Honorable Freeland?
Green.
Thank you. Honorable Stewart?
Green.
Thank you. Honorable Daniels? We have a vote of 4 in favor, 0 opposed, chair not voting, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Trio.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Resource Development Committee. Thank you very much.
So we're at the close of our meeting, and I don't see anything else. So we'd like to, are there any other announcements? None. Motion to adjourn?
Motion, Stewart.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Honorable Vice Chair Walker. Thank you. Are there any comments or questions? I hear none. Honorable Vice Chair Walker, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Thank you. Honorable Begay?
Chairman Keel votes green. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Daniels?
Green.
Honorable, thank you. Honorable Freeland?
Green.
Honorable Stewart?
Green.
Thank you. We have a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed, chair not voting. Motion carries. We are officially adjourned at 12:24 p.m. Y'all be safe and may God bless each and every one of you. Hack going at.
Oh, going at. Thank you.